Since the 2018 tragedy, whispers have surrounded the Watts home. Unknowingly, even police body camera footage has caught unexplainable activity. Some believe the spirits of Shanann and her daughters remain. Let's delve into the theories that ask not just what is haunting places like this, but why. Join us in the chat, we want to hear your theories.
Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, welcome. Hang on one sec. Welcome to Beneath the Hollow Moon, where the folklore burns slow and the strange never fades. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin, and you are listening to us live on UFO Paranormal Radio Network and United Public Radio Network, 105.3 FM and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And I'm here with my co-host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and tonight we are following the trail of paranormal theories related to the unusual paranormal experiences that have been caught on camera, particularly police body cams in the Chris Watts home. Hi, Kerrilynn.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Look at you in that awesome t-shirt, and I'm like wrapped up in a blanket and long sleeve sweater.
It's so hot here. Like, it's so humid. And of course, we have my favorite character. If any of you guys are a Hello Kitty fan, this is Kuromi, and she's the naughty one. And she's my favorite. And my partner's niece, I have her hooked on it. Like, hooked on it. She's appropriate age. Of course, I'm going to be 60 and still in love with Kuromi and stuffies and toys.
No, I don't think that we should think that there's an age for those kind of things, for toys and stuff like that.
I didn't even get a chance to tell you because we talked off and on. This isn't going to be super exciting, but have you ever heard of nail stamping? Like having a stamp and you can stamp? And I have so many incredible stamps. Like I have Supernatural, The Walking Dead, like all these things, right? And I put my fake nails on last night and they were cheapy ones. They kept falling off. And I thought, oh, I think I have some new stuff. I'll try it one more time. And I literally have been trying to do this for 15 years and it never works. It worked. We have little Miss Kuromi, and this is glow in the dark if you put UV lights on. Find the joy. Find the joy in everything.
Find your joy. That's right.
I was so excited. I was almost yelling, like, oh my gosh, it worked. Like at 11:30 at night last night. Would have thought I created the new Frankenstein monster.
It's so fun. I wore my Tom shoes the other day that have glow-in-the-dark ghosts on them.
Oh, so
yeah.
cool.
It's so, I mean, kudos to the lady that came to the Dining with the Dead event, because here's me. She's like, I like your shoes. I said, they're so fun. They glow in the dark. Come with me. And I'm like, I asked her to come with me into the bathroom stall so we could close the door. This total stranger, come with me to the bathroom so I can show you in the dark.
Yeah, a little creepy, but hey.
We gotta close the door. So kudos to the lady who was like, okay, about coming to the bathroom with me. To see my glow-in-the-dark shoes.
Oh, Heidi says, we'll say hi in just a minute, but Heidi said to everybody, but Heidi Gall says, I wore my pink, fuzzy, ghostly stars jammies pants yesterday. I love it. Love it. I even my partner noticed. He goes, oh, I like your top. He doesn't usually say that. He goes, oh, new Kuromi. He knows I love Kuromi.
Love that.
So
I think I've got a bread pan with the Kuromi that I sent you. I found a bread baker thing. I don't use it for bread. I use it for meatloaf, but
so cute.
Kuromi on the
front
of it.
Pants I got, like they're all, of course, we're not sponsored, but Temu or whatever how you say it, and they were purple, and I never used to love purple. I always loved red, pink, maybe blue. I have to grab them and show you quickly. They're right here. They turned out to be pink, but they've got bats all over them, and you're gonna see me coming. Ready for Halloween early. Should we say hi to everybody?
Oh, Mish's sharing. I wore my alien fuzzy warm pants yesterday and the days before. I've got my mom was crazy during, she makes so many quilts, right? So I've got my quilt that my mom made. And this is the one with my grandparents' clothes too.
Oh, super
My
special.
grandma's nightgowns. Yeah, so I should have put jammy pants on, but I am wearing pants, so that's
I'm
fine.
wearing shorts because I have a suntan already.
That's crazy.
Why
It's
sit out?
cold and miserable here.
Sorry?
It's cold and rainy and miserable here.
Well, it has been, but we were talking about that today. Even though we're getting into spooky stuff, we promise. I sit outside every day, and I didn't know that you did, but I have my coffee. It doesn't matter if it's cold. Doesn't matter if it's raining. I sit outside and ground and connect and talk to the little birds. And
yeah, that's how I start my day, with the morning porch posts that I do on social media. So I'm always outside.
I love it. Should we say hi to everyone?
Yeah. So Heidi Gall is here. Heidi is in Colorado, which is where our story is going to start tonight.
Oh, yes.
Colorado. Yes. Hello, Victoria, Astrolight Paranormal. Thank you for being here.
Connie. Contessa Martin's right. Hello. Go ahead. You read. I just said hi because I seen her name.
Hi, Contessa. Hello, Mish.
Hi, Mish.
One day
She's in the future. She's in the future. It's a Friday in Australia.
Hi, James. Thank you for being here.
Hi, James. Let's see. Got
Julie Dow. Hi, it's nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Heidi was talking about the gems. They have stamps and gem blings as well, too.
I have it all. I have it all.
I can't keep my nails long enough for anything.
No,
I'm too rough on my.
So am I.
I can't. Hi, Lois Clark. Thank you for being here.
And Liza Kish Glubis. My eyes, I'm telling you.
That's right. Hello.
I'll wear my glasses now. I can see. Hi. Let's see. Oh, Mish is still in bed.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is. And we got Gail Willis, right?
Hi, Gail.
Should we got to give the Paracon a shout out then, Kerrilynn? Do you want to let people know? Yeah.
So Gail Willis and her wife Mel are Lucky Paranormal. They have been on both our shows, The Angel Rock on Mondays and Spirit Switchboard on Fridays. They run, this is our second year, Lake Superior Paracon in Thunder Bay, Ontario. Tomorrow night, Mike Ricksecker is going to be on Spirit Switchboard, and he is going to be one of the speakers at the Paracon this year. So you can head to Lake Superior Paracon, I think is the address, lakesuperiorparacon.com, and get your tickets. They've got a great lineup. The Beyond the Haunting ladies are going to be back. Snipe guys, myself.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah, it's good. It's a great lineup. So we hope to see you there.
And feel free to put the link in the chat too, Gail, if you like as well.
Jason Kenzie, Sasquatch hunt this year.
Ooh, good area for it.
Heather Fugard, hello. Thank you for being here. Oh, you've got the same zippy code even. Great.
Oh.
Carrie, yay. Thank you for being here. This is my best friend, Carrie.
Oh, hi, Carrie. So nice to meet you. I'm glad you could pop in.
I tried to send her the reel and she couldn't get it to open, so I'm glad that she was able to show up here.
Hi, Cheryl. It's Cheryl Corbett
Carter. Thank you for being here. Jackie Collins. Hello.
Denise. Hi, Denise. Mitz. Let's see.
Oh, Sherry. Hi.
Hi, Sherry.
It's nice to see you. You're welcome, Julie. Or you're welcome, Gail.
No problem. Got to shout them out, especially Thunder Bay, where we're all from. I'm from here. I live here too. And it's not a huge city, but you got to come through Thunder Bay if you're driving from one side of Canada to the next, or you want to go through the States and not around, well, I guess kind of around the lakes.
It was a long drive from Guelph. It was like 16 hours. It was a long drive.
Yeah.
And I'll do better this year. I learned a lot. I learned a lot. LakeSuperiorParacon.com. Thank you so much.
Did we said hi to Elsa, right? Did we say hi to Elsa?
We did.
Okay, good. Oh, Michelle Wilfong, did we say hi to?
Oh, how did I miss Michelle?
I just missed her too. So hi, Michelle. I'm still working on TikTok. Those guys, I'm telling you, I have somebody supposed to be fixing it to get the hack working. So I'm still working on it, guys.
Carrie's just sharing she's heard a lot about you, Lorilei.
Well, all my friends hear all about Kerrilynn too. So I hope I'm glad that you were able to pop in, Carrie.
Yeah.
And yes, I have heard good things about you too. So, amen. Let's see. Did we say hi to everybody? I think we did.
So are you on Instagram today? Did you need to take a peek over there?
I did. You know what? Instagram's funny because sometimes we'll get a ton of people and sometimes we don't. I just checked again. Nobody popped in. Oh, Grant Evans is here and Julie Jean Bassett.
Hi, Grant.
I love when he's on your show.
I do too. It's always a really good conversation. Hi, Julie.
You got to give Julie a huge shout out, you guys. If you're looking for an animal communicator or side, or that has gone to the Rainbow Bridge, or you've got issues with your pets that are causing you problems and you're pulling your hair out, Julie is your person. I've taken her animal communication course before. She has a new one coming up. I think it's in June, right? Kerrilynn, when she shared it with us, I think so, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
The new website is great and easy to use. I have used the contact form myself and highly recommend.
Please put the link in the chat too, if you can, Julie. Also incredible. She's an incredible shamanic practitioner. So for yourself too. She's also a human medium too. So she does kind of a whole bunch of stuff. So check her out. She's amazing. Amazing, amazing. So shall we get into our chat?
We should. I'm going to start with the did you know stuff. We're going to work our way into this today.
Okay, so before you do, because you brought this up, let's share. Before you do, we were talking, because we are planning the next block of shows that are planned. Yeah. And it was you, I think, that brought up about paranormal activity and these type of cases. And I said, oh my gosh, yes. When have I ever said no? When you come up with an idea or vice versa. And I said, like the Chris Watts house. And you go, Chris Watts house. How do I miss that activity, right?
I know. I had no idea. And I had followed so much of that case. And when I asked Carrie, I had asked, because Carrie goes rabbit diving down all of those sorts of things as well too, right?
Right.
She hadn't heard about it either. So I was sending her the same links. I was just forwarding. You were sending them to me and I was forwarding them to Carrie. I'm like, what is this craziness? And there's just something different for whatever reason that hits when it's coming from police body cams, or they are so in the moment emotionally detached. They're there to do their job in these heightened moments and where there's the energy is all heightened. So it makes sense to me that their cameras would pick stuff up for that reason. I love that it gets out to us. That the body cam footage is available for us to see.
I have to say hi. I'm going to interrupt you because it must be friend and family night tonight. I won't call his name out, but Shayla V, my drag baby, my oldest son, also has a page on Instagram called Shayla Beads, because Shayla, I'm going to say it, honey, Logan, makes hand-beaded First Nations patterns and earrings and just beautiful, beautiful pieces. So I noticed that they popped in. So hello, they're over on Instagram. Thanks for hanging out with us.
I so want to be in.
Oops, I hit the wrong one. Sorry. So Julie said that Animal Communication Workshop is coming June 26th and 29th. Stay tuned. You guys, it's worth it. If you've ever wanted, you don't have to be a psychic medium. We are all intuitive to be able to tune in. Yeah. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you for being here.
So do you want to start with the did you know?
I do. So, we are going to be talking about So trigger warning, if anyone is out there that has had those types of traumas, I'm trying to going to be mindful. So unaliving of family members and close members, and we're going to be talking about the case, but we're not here to sensationalize that trauma. We're here to talk about the theories attached to why this may happen. So we are going to give you the background to this. If you don't know about it, we're going to give you the backstory to it and show you the police footage. And I think too, did you load up? I'm really sorry if I didn't talk about this earlier. Does one of the clips have the next door neighbor footage with the security camera too? Do you know what I mean?
I can find it while we're talking. Other thing, there was something else I was going to add. And just
because there was stuff that showed up on that security camera as well too, right?
What did?
There was stuff that showed up on the security camera when the police were there. So it was still caught through the police body cam when they're watching the next door neighbor security footage on the TV that day.
I've got a lot. If I haven't found what we need, I'll find it while we're talking. But the one thing I wanted to add, we really discussed this, and never mind that we work in this field as well. And even as a nurse working in the death and dying field, we just feel that that's why you're not seeing us in the dark tonight. And we didn't put a themed costume on for tonight because we just felt that it would not be respectful. So just so you know, so next week, who knows what you're going to see when we tell you what our theme is next week.
Haunted amusement parks.
But that's why you're seeing us like this tonight. I thought that was important too, and I'm so glad you brought that up.
Oh, do you know, Grant, we might pick your brain too about the haunted amusement parks. Because you did talk about that, I think, when you were on Spirit Switchboard. Hi, Jody. The BFF.
Heidi, you're saying the commercial. I'm not sure what you mean. So if you've got a clip, or do you know?
So I think it was a commercial that popped up during the security footage.
Oh, with the baby.
With the baby.
I have that.
Yeah.
Definitely so.
Yes, we're going to talk about all those things, Michelle. So what we're going to do to start with, we're going to start our Did You Know facts. So we're going to start our Did You Know, and we're going to lead into the story. Then we're going to start our videos, just so you guys know how the show's sort of going to unfold today. And then we're just going to start talking about different theories. Yes, we're going to talk about amusement parks, haunted amusement parks.
Yes.
We have so many things. Grant, I'm going to pick your brain about it, actually, if that's okay.
We have so many ideas, you guys, and now we're starting to write them down because we'll just send them to each other going, what do you think about this? Neither one of us has ever said, no, I don't think so. It's like, oh, heck yes. Oh, so Carrie says, you want to read that?
Carrie is sharing, okay, so I went down the rabbit hole and I need to know about the laugh. There is one video with a laugh that's very similar to the mistress. Can spirits parrot sounds? Yes, they mimic. Yes, they can mimic.
That's a good question because I saw that video, Carrie, and I never noticed it before. And then I seen it. It might have been the one maybe I sent you if you sent it to her, maybe. But when I noticed the mistress and the laugh caught on camera, very similar. So we're going to do the Did You Know, and then should we give a little bit more history after? Do you think, Kerrilynn, about the case in case people don't?
I've got it all written out.
I know you did.
I've got it covered. And when I don't know, I knew that there was people who would know. You guys can fill the gaps because I don't want to talk too we're going to give the basic facts about how that played out, and then I really want to get into the theories because I think I wrote down 13 or 14 different theories that we could talk about, and we chose this case in particular, but the theories would attach to any haunting really in any house. So did you know, in Tibetan Buddhism, it's believed the soul journeys through the bardo, a transitional state where being remembered and called upon can either aid or delay the process of moving into the next incarnation.
Mhm.
So we're going to talk about this. I think that our thoughts and energies collectively can either pin people here or help move them forward, right? So number 2, in parapsychology, there's a theory that repeated paranormal investigation can create a feedback loop. I think, Grant, you may have talked about this when you were on the show as well too, where the attention and energy of investigators actually strengthen or sustain hauntings. And I think about that a lot when people talk about Gettysburg.
Yes. Yes.
Always like, yeah, or other places, right? Like they're just not feeling it tonight.
Carrie asked a good question. Do you
Sorry.
think it was a clue, meaning about the giggle caught that we're going to play in a little while, that was caught on the police body cam footage? And it could have been, because I think some of the videos we may show may very well be some clues. So that'd be something to talk about maybe a little bit more into the show, right?
So it is quite possible, because at that time when those videos were taken, there had been no arrest.
They didn't even know they were missing when some of them
Didn't
were
even
taken.
know. That's right.
Mm-hmm. You got
Well, they knew something was up because anyway, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, folks. Hang tight.
We've got, before you, I just want to say we got Michael Alstein Virgin also tuning in on Instagram. So thank you. Sorry, go ahead. I just wanted to jump in there.
That's okay. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
So number 3, did you know collective grief has been called a psychic tether in some spiritual traditions? It's believed that intense mourning, especially widespread, can act like a cord, energetically anchoring a spirit to the earth planes. So if we think about actors or singers, people that are internationally known, and the intense emotions attached to them. Elvis Presley. Let's talk about Elvis Presley.
There's a theory he is still alive.
Oh my Lanta. Do you
No,
believe
his name is Bob. I forget what his last name is. He is a preacher now. Have you seen Bob?
No.
I am telling you, now again, Conspiracy Princess here, as our wonderful Joe Montaldo has nicknamed me for many years. He only knows another woman that knows it more than that talks about, and I say it's truth seeking. I'm not saying he's Elvis, but what I am saying is, holy cow, when you do an overlay of the faces or an age progression, or you hear the voice, and he talks about his former life. Now, could he be lying? 100%. I don't know if it's him or not, but the fact is, because we've heard like aliens took Elvis, like there's been all kinds of things, right? But this is an interesting rabbit hole, actually.
Well, that's one that maybe we can deep dive down into. Enfield Haunting, thank you so much for being here. Hello from 1771 Enfield House. Just opened up Facebook and you all popped up. So I had, Jay Mackenzie and Elka on Spirit Switchboard. Please follow them on social media. Buy the merch. Mackenzie does all of that stuff on her own to help raise funds for their paranormal research that they're doing with the house. And give them some support. Kat Ward of Paranormal Heart Podcast is here. Please like, follow, subscribe, buy her mugs and her merch as well too. Paranormal Heart.
She's coming on the Angel Rock. I forget what date. It's in, I think, September. And okay, this is really bad. So it's not bad. This is good. I pre-recorded her show and was on it yesterday. I did the Angel Rock Monday. Wednesday night, last night, I was on Joe's show with the boys. Tonight we got here, and then we got the boys tomorrow night and the boys on Saturday night. I said, people are going to be sick of me this week.
That's why they keep tuning in.
The reason I brought it up is because Kat and I had a good giggle about it behind the scenes.
So I have connected with Elvis as well too in spirit a number of times. I've got actually quite a lot of stories regarding Elvis, and he has popped in on our seances as well too, which is super weird. Thank you for reminding me about that, Jody. But again, those tethers, I was going to say I had been to, I went to Memphis and I went to Graceland because I wanted to buy stuff. Yeah. I wanted to buy stuff for my mom because that growing up, that was all about Elvis.
Oh my God. Yes.
Right. It was just all about Elvis. I couldn't even stay in the house. I wormed it. So they have it like you have to move in one direction and you go in and then you walk through like a maze and you come out the other side of it. Right. And I, excuse me, backed all the way out the wrong way to get back out because I could not handle the intense energy of the people who were still mourning him in the space. It was so overwhelming as an empath to be there. I was like, I went outside and stood as far away on the grass as possible because you have to wait for the shuttle bus to drive you back across the road. I was like, no, thank you. I tapped out.
Wonder what the energy's like now that Lisa has passed too, Lisa Marie.
Wow, I'm sure a lot. So Chris,
here quickly. It's family night tonight and friends because my cousin's here too. Michelle, Christine, thanks for joining us, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle.
Sorry, I interrupted.
All good. So Chris Watts and Shanann, so they were married in 2012. Shanann had lupus. Yeah. Did you want to add more to that? So I know that she had lupus, and there was just this, past history of relationships that weren't so good. She had met Chris and had this loving relationship. He was very supportive of her. She felt safe. She felt supported. She felt loved by him. There were tensions with Shanann at the time that they got married with Chris's family structure. His parents did not attend the wedding. There was already that rift within that dynamic, right? So fast forward, they have two beautiful girls, Cece and Bella. She is doing her vlogging, family vlogging. She spent a lot of time putting her life out on social media. Whatever your opinions are, they're just your opinions. We are not here to discuss choices or any of that. It really did feel like she was working towards having this positive movement forward and trying to share and inspire with other people, right? In that support system.
Yeah, it did. And she originally didn't want to be with Chris. She had just gotten out of a long-standing relationship and she'd always been a real go-getter. So she owned her own house. She was having a lot of issues with her health in the beginning when she met Chris. And he kind of because I remember watching a couple of the documentaries and she said he just kind of warmed her heart. He was everything that she needed, like you said. Yeah. And then she started selling a product that helped her lose a lot of weight. And I love that you added no judgment here. We're just telling the story. Yep. And Chris also started taking it and working out and really starting to feel better about himself. But then she got pregnant with the third baby, which I'm sure you're going to pick it up there.
Yep. And so that's where I was going to go too, was that he was very focused on how he and working out and how he looked and how he was perceived as well too. So there was a lot of kind of dynamics that are being played out publicly in all of the posting that she was doing and the live vlogging that she was doing. So Shanann is taking the girls to visit family. I forget where that is. It North Carolina?
Yeah, but she was pregnant at the time too, because there was a lot of I also watched an interview. It was about 4 or 5 hour interview with Chris. Now, again, we can take for granted what Chris said with a grain of salt kind of thing, right? But he gave some of his thoughts, and as well to come out in a couple of the documentaries, they were suffering with financial issues, but it's just like sort of what it looked like as a social media influencer. Everything's beautiful. Yeah. Everything looks Pinterest ready. Right. Life is amazing. And she got pregnant with Nico. So she was pregnant.
And it wasn't all perfect. And
he didn't want the baby. Even though it was
Well, and when you watch the video, because you can watch it, you can find it when she announces or she shows him, and
he's not happy.
no, you can tell that he's uncomfortable because he's live being watched by however many people when this announcement's being made. So I'm sure that there was lots that we don't know about.
But she did take the girls to go visit. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So, and there was another breakdown in the dynamics with Chris's family during that trip.
Huge.
Created more tension within the family structure. And there was a lack of communication between Chris and her during that time period too. There was less response happening to the texts. She had to, she did a search in their financials and saw that he had gone, like he said, he had gone out. There was more money missing that would have been if one person was going out for dinner, and questioning things. She comes back with, oh no, that's a mixed up story. I put it all mixed up. Just wait. She comes back with the girls and then she goes away again. So she's back with the girls and she goes away again for work.
On a business trip.
And that's when she discovers that there's things that are all mixed up. In the meantime, there's lack of intimacy, there's lack of communication, all those signs hinting that there's something more going on. Because when she went away for work,
Nicole Ketzinger was what was going on.
Yes, exactly. But she didn't know at the time, but then she found that the money was more than what it needed to be. So the girls were home with him when she went away for work. She gets dropped off by her close friend, who is also a work person.
A neighbor.
Yeah. They were on that work weekend away together. And she had appointments with her obstetrician the next day. And she didn't show up to work, didn't go to her appointments, was not answering texts. So the friend goes to the house, knocks on the door, no answer, calling, no answer. She does a wellness check. Police come. She contacts.
Well, we should add too, she was 7 months pregnant with their first boy, and his name was Nico. So even if he had been born, he could have most likely survived. And the thing is, imagine if you've ever been pregnant, what that feels like at 7 months. I can't even imagine how she did what she did with 2 little ones and then doing these trips back to back, right, too. Sorry, I wanted to add that.
No, I'm glad. Pop in.
Okay. So she's not answering the text. She's not answering the phone calls, and the neighbor's worried.
And they call Chris. He was at work. The parents, Shanann's parents gave them permission to go in. Chris shows up. They go in through the garage, called Chris first, and he told her she was in a play date.
Yeah, the friend said, Chris told her that Shanann and the girls had gone on a play date.
There's just a lot of dodginess with all of it. There's a lot of dodginess, and they do go in. He lets them in. She goes in. The friend is in. They're all looking. The purse is there. Keys, cell phone, kids' car seats. The wedding ring is on the bedside table. Everything is there, but no Shanann and no girls. And then we just get into the police checking the security footage at the next door neighbors, and all of the interviews that he does, television interviews, the police interviews, he's got a weird, we can do that when we're nervous, have a weird nervous laugh or a nervous smirk. It was super, it was not emotional the way that you would expect. It was sketchy right off the hop. And the nervousness, it was almost like self-soothing that he was doing when they're watching the security camera. Yeah, the body language for sure was a red flag.
Hi, Barbara. Says she's been following this.
Thank you for being here. So we have the videos. So we're going to show the videos, and then we're going to start deep diving into theories.
Give me one. I'm going to play. Do you want me to play the shorter one with a lot of the body cam? It's not that long. It's about 42 seconds, but it's got quite a few of the EVPs, or I can play the longer one. It's up to you.
Yeah, we can start with the shorter ones.
Okay.
So it's within a 2-day period, because I think it was August 15th is when she's reported.
That's my birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's really like within a couple of days, then you can watch the police. There's Netflix videos, there's all of that stuff where he failed miserably the polygraph test, and so it just goes downhill from there. There's some dodginess with the mistress's interview as well too, in the way that comes together. But he does confessing. He does draw on a map where they would find Shanann's body. He confesses and pleads guilty, which got him off the hook from being on like a death row. Yep. So I think the thing that bothers me the most about this case is all of it. It's all really icky. All of it is very icky. But that he put his children, who were 4 and 3 at the time, in the back seat of his work truck with their mother's unalived body, not being in these car seats. And they were alive until they got to the location where the oil tanks were, and one of his work locations. So they were in the truck while he buried
their mother.
And then he unalived each one of them separately.
I'm going to add something to this in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can.
There is a theory out there, and I'm tending to believe it because somebody put it in the chat about, I think that they had picked up Nicole, the girlfriend's truck, just for a moment on the neighbors' cameras. There are some channels out there that are really following this, but what it seems happened was her interviews with police. When somebody, was it Carrie that was asking about the giggle on the video we're about to show you, caught on police body cam.
Yeah.
And then they played some of the voice messages from Nicole to Chris. They almost sound identical, the giggles. Never mind the fact that Chris has now come out, and some channels with evidence, not just conspiracy theorists, because a lot of internet detectives, I'm telling you, the things they track down, it is theorized that Chris indeed did not unalive Cece and Bella, that she did it.
So I really hesitate to put any to
allegedly.
Yeah, because I feel, if collectively, if we put too much energy into something that we don't have, that where it's adding in an unhealthy, not productive way, that's potentially hurtful to different family.
I think they're reopening. She's gone completely.
Yeah, see, that's what I would wait for. I'd be open to going down that conversation, because police would, they have to have enough in order to have a solid case. They may believe that too, but they can't act on it unless they have enough to follow through with it. So, and sometimes gathering that information takes a long time, and maybe that's what they're doing in this is what we know for sure.
We do. But I'm going to add that. The only reason I'm going to add it, this is my personal opinion and alleged, is after watching her police interviews,
which is bad. It's bad.
They weren't looking for another suspect because Chris had confessed. Whatever it is, I think this is how it all wraps up. I do agree with you and I'm not trying to call her out in any way. This is allegedly. Please do your own research. And I agree 100% with what you've said about this, because she has not been charged. You wrap it all up. This is such a sad, tragic, horrific.
Yeah. And that he was so emotionally
detached.
When you hear about these cases, a lot of times the person who has done all of that unalives themselves as well too. And he had this whole other life planned that's a whole.
I just couldn't live with myself either. And again, I never
No.
walked a mile in his shoes, but I mean, we're mothers. I just can't imagine.
Having had losses, having had miscarriages, and
I've
like,
lost my son, too, this
yeah,
year, right?
like to
Can't even imagine.
3 children under 4.
I can't
What?
even.
I had that too. 3 children under 4. Okay, so we're gonna play the video, then we're gonna start talking about the paranormal.
Okay, so just to preface it, and I'm glad that you added that actually about the girlfriend, because I feel really strongly about this, and I think that that was important to add what you did, and I thank you that you did. The right thing to do. So this is a quick synopsis, and these are clips that are the sounds, and then we do have longer videos as well. These were sounds that were picked up off of police body cam footage. Okay, so they weren't looking for paranormal activity. Let's see. Let's play it here. Okay, go. Hopefully that's volume. Oh, is it ever small? Sorry, guys. I'll play it a couple times.
A commenter in one of the original videos writes that the words "I'm with Cece" sounds like it's been said with a gravelly voice, almost as if how one would talk if they had injuries to the neck.
I know. I guess this isn't the one. I thought this one played the giggle at the front. Give me a minute, guys, while we're doing this, because the giggle's not in here. I'll let this play one more time.
A commenter in one of the original videos.
I'm going to look for that, Kerrilynn, because I swore that one had the giggle on it. You still there?
Yep.
I've got more.
Mish is just sharing, interesting knowing all this. Don't we agree to sign up for what we do in this life? And no. I've had this conversation, and we also have free will and different, like a choose your own adventure story where we have points in time where we can go off script, choose A, B, C, or D, turn to this page, and it goes differently. Sometimes I think things happen unexpectedly where it's shite.
Yeah.
Where it's just shite, and this is one of those just shite. I do believe there are some people that do sign up for other things, but a lot of times I think that random can also happen.
Absolutely. Give me one sec here. I'm just looking for it because there's the one that I sent you, and I thought that was the one with the giggle. Oh, there we go. I found it. Hang on, guys. I knew I had it. I had a bunch of clips here. So this is the one everybody's talking about with the body cam footage, and the canine handler is going into the house. And actually, I'll make it bigger here. Sorry. They're going into the house. They don't know that the girls are no longer alive. Well, this is how I have to do it. Sorry, guys. And what happens is they hear something very strange as they're searching the closet, and they try to recreate it. Here, give me a sec. And you'll hear for yourself. Want me to pause it? Want me to pause it? Go ahead.
Yeah. So Kat from Paranormal Heart is just sharing, do you think that people know what they've done in past lives and agree to a new life to try to repent for what they've done? Yes. I think that is an option, but not all people make that choice. Some people repeat the same icky for a while.
And sometimes it's karma, and karma's not punishment, right? Sometimes I've seen cases where you might have been the bad person in this life doing things like this, and in the next life, you get to experience what that felt like for your victims too, right?
So Mish, I agree. This knowledge helps me. Like from my understanding, we choose what happens and who with before we come here.
Mm-hmm.
And then she adds, this knowledge helps me because why would anyone do this? Explains all the bad and the good to me. And from what I also understand is that those who do things that are very, very harmful, hurtful, have agreed to be a teacher to many, not just one who's being hurt, but collective, because collectively we come together to create change afterwards. And they forget that they come from the same place of love and light as us because they're playing their role so well that they forget that they come from that same place. So I feel that there's we're going to talk about this, our cultural belief systems, experiences, traumas, all of those things play a factor in this. Sorry, but let's listen to that.
I didn't even put it up there anyways. I just realized I'm playing and all you're hearing is the sound.
Yeah.
I'm a little dingy tonight, guys. Sorry. Hang on. Now I'll add it to the stage. Now you can see what I'm talking about. There we go. Hang on.
So there's probably a person here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that? Wow. Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It sort of sounds like it.
Something. I heard it.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Sounded like a kid giggling or something, didn't it? Or a kid.
It did.
Where did that come from? Because all he did was go straight in there. That was strange. Well, we're making note of that.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned around and flipped. I just.
Okay.
Can we listen to it again?
Yeah, hang on. Decided it's going to give you an ad. So sorry about that. Give me a sec. Yeah, I can replay it again. As soon as we skip this, give me a sec. Okay, let's go. Oh, this is actually the next one. So let me go back one. We've got a lot of clips here, you guys. So give me a sec. Okay, let's put the volume back on. Give me a sec. So many buttons to push. Thanks for your patience, everybody. Okay, Chris, share. Okay, we'll play it right now. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna put it up, Lorilei?
Yeah.
Here, do you want me to add it to the stage?
Oh, did it? Yes, please do. God, what am I doing? You know why? Because it's been adding it. Let me start it over, guys. Just go ahead. If you see I haven't added it, just go ahead,
Okay.
Kerrilynn.
Yeah, you
I'll
have to
restart
restart
it
it from your end.
I got it reset. Are we all good?
Yep.
Because I was staying with the other screen, so I didn't even see that, or I would have noticed it. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So there's probably a person here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What in the world is that? Wow. Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It sort of sounds like it.
Something. I heard it.
Did you hear it?
We can stop it.
Sounded like a
Thank
kid.
you, Lorilei.
Okay.
Like that,
No
they
problem.
keep looking, that they keep validating one another, that they both heard it and tried to.
The dog did too.
Yeah, and tried to find where that may have come from. I agree, Kat, that the giggle is pretty creepy. Do you have the video from the next door neighbor's security camera?
Where the commercial comes on?
Yeah.
Is that the one? The one I have is with Colin from Paranormal Files I sent you, but it talks about. I just won't put it up there. Good. I know to put it on now. Hang on. Is that the one?
Yeah, that shows the baby in the, like, the commercial comes on during the security. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Give me a sec.
It does sound like
now
a
we got a
dog
commercial. Give me a sec. Okay. You guys give me a minute here. That's the one I want. I got too many things open here. Remove. I need another one. Just stop sharing for a second. I'll start it. Got too many clips tonight, guys, which is a good thing. This is the one we want. Sorry. Thanks for your patience, guys. There we go. That's the one. This is with Colin Browen from the Paranormal Files. If you guys get a chance, check him out. I don't know how this guy does it. He does a brand new documentary on the paranormal every week. He investigates with his family on Monday nights. You can see it on YouTube. And sometimes he digs into even darker conversations about topics out there and investigating missing people and things like that. So this is what he's talking about, the Watts home in the commercial.
That Chris Watts is guilty of murdering his pregnant wife and 2 kids before they found out that he was the killer. This police body camera footage shows Chris and his neighbor looking at the neighbor's surveillance footage from the night before, trying to figure out what happened to Shanann and his kids. But when the surveillance footage goes off screen for a second, a baby, a fetus, appears on the screen, and Chris tells the police officer Shanann is pregnant. And after the fetus appears on screen, you can see a black pool of liquid and hands pulling his skull into the liquid. This is weird because he had just killed his wife and he disposed of his 2 kids' bodies in an oil tank, kind of like the black liquid in the skull. If you want to hear the full story of the Chris Watts murder case and the...
Yeah, so it's not that long. Do you want me to replay it, Kerrilynn, or no?
It's up to you.
Is that the one you were talking about, though?
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. Thank you.
If you guys want us to replay it, we can replay it. I'll just put it on hold for a sec here. Connie, Jen Blue says, I watch this guy all the time on YouTube. So Colin, yeah, he's been on YouTube. I've watched him since the beginning, and he investigates with his brother-in-law and his mom and dad, and they're known as Mama and Papa Spooks. And yeah, I don't know how he does the work that he does, but he really works really, really hard. Like, how do you put a documentary out, a 3-hour documentary every week while you're traveling around the world to investigate too?
I don't know. Never sleep. A lot of Red Bull.
I don't know. So Contessa said something here, Connie. Hang on just one sec. Where is it? Oh, we got lots of comments. So sorry, I'm trying to get to it here. Thank you. You want to read it?
My mom used to say that we tell from a young age who would grow up to be a person to unalive people by the way they acted towards animals. When a child unalives an animal and shows no remorse. Agreed.
It's a McDonald, I think it's called the McDonald triad that they use in psychology. They're now noticing now that it's not necessarily a marker like it used to be, but they definitely keep an eye on kids that exactly hurt animals, bedwetters. I forget what the third one is. There's a really good channel too on YouTube called The Interview Room with Chris and Karen McDonough. He's a retired LAPD detective, and she's an investigative journalist. And they get a lot of the big people in true crime because he runs a cold case foundation. So all retired law enforcement, forensic scientists, people in those fields all get together to try and solve cold cases. And they have solved some too. Since we're on this topic. Mm-hmm.
I forget. I went with my friend Jen to a talk about the making of a serial killer by a forensic psychologist who does talks about them. And hello, Case, and it's nice to see you. So yeah,
Chris has one on Dr. Gary Bricado, and Gary, and there's a nurse out there, Dr. Ann Burgess. She's actually a nurse, and there was Mindhunter, the series that was created on her. She was the first female profiler and set up the profiling, basically for the initial parts of profiling with the FBI. So he has her own. Dr. Gary Bricado, though, he's written a book that it is alleged that somebody that's on trial for unaliving for college students, that's a terrible case. He read the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator, it's been noted in the evidence that's been released that he read Dr. Bucato's book, and it classifies every type of person that does this kind of thing and the characteristics. Mm-hmm.
I still feel that we can have wild cards that don't fit into the categories and things like, yeah, I don't want to. I feel we need to stay open that anything is possible. Carrie is just asking, after, can you find the voicemail she left him where she laughs? The laugh is identical.
I will tell you guys, actually, I have my own story that I used to go to school with this kid, that there was always something wrong with him. He was violent. He was mean. I remember he stole these precious toys I had gotten from my uncle's girlfriend. They lived out of town, and he taunted them in my face when he had them. And they always used to sit him with me because he would never behave in class. And I was, believe it or not, I was quiet when I was young. I was shy. So he used to sit me with him. I never forgot this guy's name. And it happened to be in Toronto for my 16th birthday. I went to the last police concert. It was called the Police Picnic. And I got news that he had been arrested over and over and over for hurting women. And finally, he did horrible things to a 16-year-old girl. It was a farmer, I guess, that had given him a chance because he'd been in and out of jail so much. And it was a really, really sad, tragic case. So I think sometimes you can see the signs, but sometimes you can't. Like, there's just no indications. Israel Keys, for one, never would have been pegged as the monster that he was, ever, ever, ever. So.
Do we have the voicemail clip? I don't know if you do.
I'm going to find it right now. Okay.
Do you want me to start talking about some of the theories, or do you want me to ask maybe a question that's on our...
Sure. Voicemail. I'll put giggling. I'll find it right now. Found it.
Got it?
Do you want me to play? Yeah, I knew it wouldn't take long. Just going to take me a second here, guys. Sorry. Like I say, there were so many
hang on a second. Carrie, you're still listening, right? What is the name of the website that you found it first and then shared it with me, and then you and I were both deep diving? Because Mish is asking, I wonder how many of us have had near misses with a murderer.
Ooh, good question.
Somebody who unalives. Do you remember that website that we were checking that tells you that? If you live close to one?
Ooh, you didn't tell me that about that one. Holy creepiness. Hi, Anita.
I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
No, but you know what? A lot of women, I do follow true crime. A lot of women do. And I know that if you have a partner, a lot of times I know mine finds it creepy, but there's many theories as to why we do. But you know what? When you try and explain, and I'm not being to sound like a victim, but you do have to be careful as a woman all the time. Watch your surroundings, especially when you're out at night or maybe on a dodgy street versus maybe say, and it's not a man versus woman thing, but it's almost like trying to figure out what goes on inside the heads of people that do these kind of things, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Connie had is Carrie still here? Did she have the
I don't know.
site?
She's not commented yet, but I put it out there. She might be trying to find it as well too.
Well, I've got it ready, but I'll wait.
Do you want to play it?
I will. I was just going to say, Connie said, I have a friend who dated a serial unalive person from Toronto. I'm not going to mention names for her sake, but he showed same signs that were questionable, but they turned a blind eye. Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Well, I think that happens with all of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's not very long, everybody, but here it is. So I got up. This is the girlfriend, and this is supposedly the video.
Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back. Bye.
I think she giggles more than once.
Hi. It's me. I miss your face.
Oh, the same.
I know.
Do we want it to be the same? Are we just hearing what we want to hear?
No, because the video I sent you, I think that you must have sent to Carrie, somebody, and I can't find that video right now. And I was looking today and I couldn't find it. It's one of those days today, looking for emails I can't find his strange story. I told you it ended up showing up in my trash in my email that I never had opened. It's crazy things today. But it did compare the two. I think they sound identical. I could open another window and we could listen to one after the other and see what you think. If you want. Or do you want to go on further?
Yeah, let's go.
I just didn't realize how far along we are, you guys. Should we do our station? Holy cow, I'm so into this. I just care.
Yeah. Alrighty, folks. If you are just joining us now, you are listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon with your host, Lorilei Potvin, and myself, Kerrilynn Shellhorn. And you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are deep diving down the paranormal theories, which we are about to get into, regarding the haunting of the Chris Watts home. So if you are just joining us, thanks so much for being here. If you've been following us for a while, thank you so much for the support. Thanks, James, for reminding us. So, that was such a tragic case. He unalived his wife, unborn child, and his 2 children that were 4 and 3 at the time. And it grabbed everybody's attention. It was international. Everybody's thoughts and energies went there for sure. And
we barely touched the surface of the paranormal activity that has been caught by law enforcement.
Yeah.
So are we going to get into some of the theories about why are we seeing this? Because we even talked a wee bit about the Elisa Lam case at the Cecil Hotel, but there's so many places like this with
all kinds of different places. But I feel you do remember, Carrie. Thank you. I know it. Yeah. I'm having a bad brain day, so it would be more than a hot minute for me to try to remember that website. But if you can remember, pop it in there, because I know that other people would be interested, because I think anyway, unaliving and other things.
If you can't post it, Carrie, because sometimes on YouTube, I know you can't post links, just send it to Kerrilynn, and then we'll be able to post it. If you find that you say I posted it, nobody says anything, we'll know, because then we can share it for you.
Yeah. Do you want to start with some of the theories?
So, and Kerrilynn, this week, she really did a lot of research. We take turns sometimes if we're having a busy week, but she had such great thoughts and questions about this. And one of the theories, like, why are we seeing this? Never mind I'm going to throw this out there right now. It's kind of a given that we always hear, right? If everything is energy, right? And energy can neither be created nor destroyed, right? Then is it just staying there? So then you get into the questions of why, though? What's holding it there? And you had some great thoughts. And one of them is there unfinished business, unfulfilled goals, promises, or responsibilities, right? Especially some of the things that were picked up on the body cam, like this is our home.
Our home. And she was so proud of her home and her family. Like, she was very proud of that. So that was interesting footage. There is video footage of a child's face in the window and handprints in the window as well too. So for sure, unfinished business.
As well as, because it would have been too long, we could have gone through the whole video, guys. There were the police, and Heidi, you can probably add more to this living so close, but apparently there were calls to the police because neighbors kept seeing a woman going into the home and lights turning off and on and the woman not leaving. And there's been some incredible things caught on that body cam footage. Nobody was there, but there's a video on the mirror. It looks like Shanann may have been caught on the mirror, in the mirror, and sitting on the chair in the kitchen, and then possibly right by the fridge when those officers went in to check the home. It looks like the little ones has been caught on the camera, again with different police in and out of the home. So there's been a lot of activity.
Yeah. Video of one of the girls at the top of the stairs as the police are going in as well too, like that image of so
Or was there an emotional attachment, like to people, the place, or their possessions? We've seen that before, definitely.
Yeah. And in different like haunted objects or haunted items, right? So if there's a strong emotional connection, and it's that energy attachment. Because there didn't, I mean, in that particular case, if we're focused on that case, I wouldn't say necessarily an emotional attachment to people, but definitely to that house and the trauma attached to the way that they passed and the unfinished business with,
That was the next point, sudden or traumatic death. So is the spirit possibly either confused or unaware that they are already passed? How many times have you gone to an investigation? I've seen it too. And I'm very careful of what I say. I know you are, but I've seen it even on TV where somebody will say, well, you're dead. And they'll have a spirit box or something going. And the spirit will answer back, no, you're dead.
Oh, yeah. Like the movie The Others.
I haven't seen it, but I've seen it on live investigations.
Yeah. So Heidi, I know the video that you're talking about. So Heidi is sharing an interview with Nicole, which was the friend that called in for the wellness check, said that one of the ghostly girls was her daughter on the stairs.
Yeah.
It was in that one
bedroom.
In the bedroom. So there's a different one where the police are coming in and the stairs are to the left at the top, and the police is actually looking in the opposite direction, and from the corner you see a shadow figure. So there is more footage. Agreed that they do debunk the one by saying it was the daughter in that
of the neighbor, because it's gone viral. You'll see it everywhere. One of the Chris Watts' daughter, or one of Chris Watts' daughters, caught on camera in the bedroom. And what people fail to notice, if you've seen pictures of Cece and Bella, they had fairly short hair, and the little one caught on camera has quite long hair too. So, and it's been debunked that it was the neighbor's daughter while the parents were over. She was playing in the bedroom. So then we have fear of judgment or the afterlife, or no belief in the afterlife. And I know you've seen it, many of us, or fear of persecution because of religious dogma, things like that, right? Belief systems.
Yeah.
There's guilt or shame in creating a state of self-punishment. I know we've run into spirits like that too sometimes.
Yeah, where their actions have caused them to stay stuck, right? And their choices have caused them to stay in a stuck space and in between space.
Yeah. Or a desire to help or guard or guide someone living. I have seen this quite a few times, actually, especially the loved ones in such an intense state of grief.
Yeah, and I tend to see it with older couples, like sticking around to make sure, especially if the partner that is living is compromised in any health way or mental capacity. I see that happen quite frequently as well too.
And you could see why, because you know what, there's nothing more beautiful, especially when you see a couple, they tell you their story that they've been together since they were barely teenagers. They married each other, had a beautiful life together, but exactly, one was maybe health compromised, or dementia or something along that line, and the person that passes was the main caregiver.
Yes, that happened. A session that I had this. It was a group event, and this older gentleman, he fell off the ladder. He was on the ladder going to do something on the roof, and he fell and passed away. And he was the main caregiver for his spouse who had Alzheimer's. And so, having to reassure him, he could pop back and check in, but he needed to go wherever he needed or wanted to go. So that
she was going to be okay. So then we have cultural or religious beliefs. If a spirit is not helped to cross over within a certain number of days after death, they will be stuck and linger, or I've told the story of the belief system with one of the books I'm writing before of First Nations little boy that passed away and mama couldn't be there. And this nurse, her mom was a nurse on the pediatric floor, and mom had told the little one, he was about 4, as well as the nurses, if this happens, they knew he was terminal and I can't be here. She had to be with the other children. She said, you must make sure to open the window or his spirit won't be able to leave. And that day, very sadly, he had passed away. So they respectfully covered his body and closed the door till they could take care of him when things settled down. But the call bell kept going off in the room. And they'd run back and check, and there's nobody in there. And it finally hit this girl who shared the story of her mom, who was the nurse looking after him. She was the main nurse responsible for his care. She said, oh my gosh, I forgot to open the window. And when she opened the window, the call bell stopped ringing.
Oh, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that there are some belief systems that they have to, I don't know if it's wait for 3 days to help them. And on the 4th, and if they don't by the 4th day, then they are trapped in that stuck space. Again, cultural or religious beliefs could potentially cause those types of hauntings as well too.
Kassoon says that he's got a fear of judgment and he passes away. And I'm sorry about that, Kassoon. I don't know what to offer with that except maybe, I don't know, finding someone that resonates with you that might be able to explore that and maybe help you with that a little bit. What would be your thoughts, Kerrilynn?
Is he saying, I just want to make sure, I just want to be clear. Are you contributing to the conversation saying it would be fear of judgment for like where people get stuck? Because that's definitely something as well too. And for us, if we are scared about judgment when we transition due to cultural or religious beliefs, then it's a lot of forgiveness, working through forgiveness, and counselor, therapist, somebody that is able to help you with working through those kinds of fears and understanding where they come from. If it's generational, and doing that inner child work too.
And you're right. He could very well have just been sharing with people, contributing. But it is a good thing to bring up because Mish had it too. Fear of judgment of people doing wrong in life. Now they are dead, facing the music. So just contributing to the conversation, you're right. But it's a good thing for anybody who may be listening that does have a fear of judgment, right? So being able to work with somebody. Yeah, you were right on.
That's what I thought.
He doesn't have a fear of judgment. LOL. I wasn't listening, still groggy. You know what? I give you kudos just to anybody else. Kassoon gets up in the middle of the night to support many of our hosts on this network, and we appreciate it. Or anybody else that's staying awake in the middle of the night. We just love all of you and love all your support. So thank you for being here. So thank you.
Sending out squishy hugs.
That's right. That's what it is.
Sending out squishy hugs.
And I should have known better, Kassoon, that you were contributing. So good thing Kerrilynn's on the ball. I mean that. But at least, right, maybe somebody needed to hear that's listening, because 80% of our audience is listening only. So
we can also extend that where I see people in spirit where their own self-judgment has them stuck. Right? So their own self-judgment. Not even worry about other people's judgments, but their own self-judgment. So however long it takes them to do that self-review, or again, coming back to guilt, shame, self-judgment. And we are able to help them. Those of us here doing our own personal work, tapping in and helping them, asking other ancestors and guides to help come in and support them as well too. And we can elevate them and move them along. Sometimes it takes some work, but I feel it's our responsibility to be working on ourselves that way, so that we are not creating that same situation for ourselves and the generations after us.
You don't know. I'm going to read Heidi's comment. Thank you all for holding space for one another. And we do. We have the best people in the chat and listening. So thank you. And I'm also going to agree with what you said. Yeah. Working on ourselves, right? And yeah, being aware of it, because sometimes we can be our own worst critic. That's what I was going to say. My thought left me for a sec. If I talk long enough, I don't know what it is, but I have been hearing that word ancestors in the last 2-3 days so many times in so many different spaces. So if it resonates, I don't know if the ancestors are wanting to come through and work with us. Well, they do, but
I'm gonna find. We're gonna do it really quickly.
Go ahead.
I'm looking it up right now. It's a book for you guys. I had
it.
Because we're all about the books.
Yes.
So I had Kelly Harrell on.
Okay.
The show. So everyone, I know that I've been sharing her. She's got a course coming up June 7th about protection jars and connecting with your ancestors. And that is one interview that I was a little nervous about doing, because we all have people that we hold up into this space. And for me, Kelly is one of those people. Definitely crush on her. I love the work that she does, how she presents it, how she talks about it. So this book is From Elder to Ancestor: Nature Kinship for All Seasons of Life. So by Kelly Harrell, Harrell. And Kelly is EY. So Kelly Harrell, From Elder to Ancestor. And it's talking about these things that we're talking about, making sure it is an intense read that takes a long time to process. It's about taking accountability and work, and it's understanding your own cultural background, where you come from, moving past settler culture and things that we have adopted, and moving forward more authentically with accountability. So
I found it. So you want me to post the link? I'm happy to do that.
I feel anybody on a spiritual journey needs to have that as part of their library.
I will. My phone decided to crash the spinning wheel of death.
Oh no.
I can fix it. Not a problem.
So yeah, and being patient with yourself as you maneuver through that book as well too. And she does have a Patreon, and there's a group, and you can find all kinds of information and
cool
with her. So I feel, and she would be a great guest if anybody's still looking for a guest on their show as well too.
Oh, cool.
That is how much I love this book and the work that Kelly Harrell does.
So cool. And I remember that book. I think you must have talked with me about it, because I remember that title and the name. So did you have her on recently? No? I remember, because even the title looks familiar.
In the winter. I don't quite remember, but we can look it up if you guys want to look it up. You
I
can
have it.
Archives. If you head to uprntalkradio.com, all of our shows and hosts and archive shows, thousands of archive shows are there as well too. So you can, and it's through Spirit Switchboard, not Beneath the Hollow Moon. So if you're going to look up that segment, it was through Spirit Switchboard. So if we're getting back onto our list of potential theories for us to discuss, you guys can chime in too as we're talking about some of these theories. I want to make sure that we at least get all the theories in for us today. Is denial of death. So we did talk about that as well too. I'm not dead, you're dead. So spirits not understanding or refusing to believe that they are no longer living. So an energy imprint or residual haunting. So a traumatic event that leaves a psychic record or imprint that replays in certain conditions, especially on like where people talk about a specific scenario with spirits that they see on an anniversary date or a holiday,
right.
right? So it is like a loop that's being played during that time. So that event left an imprint. I always think like silly putty. You know how you put silly putty on newspaper and it lifts up the
Oh,
picture?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've left that imprint.
I'm going to share it. It's a Canadian link because my phone keeps crashing. I got to do it on the internet. But you guys will get the title at least and see what the cover looks like. So then you can look it up where you might want to find it on your favorite book source.
I was
Okay.
not forward thinking. I should have grabbed it off the shelf to show you guys.
That's okay.
I can't reach it from here. Wow, that's kind of an obnoxiously long link.
I know. Oh, and it says an error occurred. Of course. Never mind, you guys. I see. It doesn't matter with tech. I have had weird things happen with tech, and usually, hi, Danielle. And usually, it didn't even work. It didn't even work. I sent myself one. I think. Hang on. Oh, it did work. And then it said it didn't. Oh my goodness.
From elder to ancestor, Kelly Harrell.
Author. What is it? Elder.
From elder. From elder to ancestor.
Elder to ancestor.
So it's about living well and dying well and ancestoring well.
I know you've told me about this book before. I know you have.
I tell everybody about it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I know you there. I just posted the name anyways. So that's at least a good thing about it, that it's up there. Good. So,
okay. Next up on our theories list. So next up on our theories list is binding spirits here by ritual or a curse. So
let's talk about this.
I know. You see it a lot when you're watching all the ghosty shows on TV or on streaming, YouTube, wherever you are watching these. But yeah, people doing rituals in places, opening up doorways or portals, binding spirits to those locations by the rituals that they're doing.
Or something from another dimension. Now, I know I've run into spirits like this that they need energy to stay powerful, so they will hold spirits there.
Yes.
Spirits. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that is definitely one of the places that I investigated quite frequently. There was this, Jen, you know exactly, because you were with me that time that I got rushed when we were in the kitchen. Jen Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't do investigations there anymore. They closed the investigations down at that place. But the person in spirit, when they rushed me, he was definitely one that would hold spirits there and feed off of their energy. But he would also feed off of the emotions of the people that were investigating. So spitting out demon all the time, and in the spirit box, but he wasn't. He was nasty, but the fear that it would create is what he would get bigger off of.
And that's what I found even in our previous home, that it was almost like situations would be created or manipulated so that energetically people would either feel depressed, couldn't sleep well, maybe have some arguments that we normally wouldn't have had. Then you'd step outside and you'd go, wow, why was I angry, or why did I feel this way? Because I'm a pretty even-keeled person. I don't like the feeling of anger. Not saying it's a bad thing. That's just a personal thing for me. And to feel angry for no reason. And I really noticed that in the previous home. So yes, feeding off of emotion. Jen says yes, right? She remembers.
I am of the understanding, but I am not super knowledgeable about Aleister Crowley. But I believe that he did. I believe that he did all of that stuff.
I'm not super knowledgeable, but I would say 100%. And you know what Spirit gave me this years ago? And I haven't said it in a long time, but I was saying it to another friend offline recently, or not on air. And it's this, that what we perceive becomes what we believe, and it becomes our reality. And I believe that we also have free will in the afterlife, as I know you believe and know this also too. So, many of these things we've talked about, right, could be belief systems, or that's what the thing with curses, though. And I think you and I didn't talk about this on air, but off air. Like, how many times have you either seen it, something like it's a reality show or a video or whatever, and someone says, I curse you and every firstborn child after you. And you'd be surprised a bunch of people that really get affected by that, believing in it.
Well, I know that I've talked about this before. I had somebody meet me for a date just to tell me that I was cursed 10 generations back on the father's side. And that's why I had the ability that I could do, and that I was unknowingly working for the devil. And every person that I have worked with for the last 20 years is now under the devil's.
Did you hear that, y'all?
And I just felt, I was like, I drove all this way just for you to tell me that I'm cursed by God.
Thank you very much. Does that mean you're now cursed because you've now interacted with physical, like we're in the same physical space?
Yeah. Well, and so I just said, well, you can pray for me.
Yes.
Like, I don't know, what do you say in that moment, right?
I was just like, I would just be speechless. I'd probably laugh.
Yeah.
Be speechless.
Well, I still laugh about it. It's been like 8 years.
Stop, cancel, delete. Stop, cancel, delete. I'm on my way home.
I would have thought so, but I was open to entertaining the conversation. Like, maybe I don't know enough. Could I have been? And so my question was, if it truly was in that, because also not wanting, like, if this is truly his belief system, and I said, well, how brave of you to show up anyway, right? How brave of you to be here hanging out with me, if that's what you're concerned about, demons globbing on. But at some point, that the negativity feeds off of ick. So those negative spirits and energies make you physically ill, anxiety, illnesses, heart attacks, cancer, depressions, suicidal ideation, all of those things eventually start to happen. So I would have thought at some point, besides the emotional eating that I do, just, because whatever, having a bad day, but I don't have any of that other stuff going on. There's none of that other stuff. My pets are fine and things aren't happening otherwise. So, but I still posed the question because I was curious to know if we could at least have that adult conversation that way.
Yeah, but if you think about this, right, and I believe this, and we've had many conversations, I believe you believe this too, and many of us in this chat, that like attracts like energy. So I would be sitting there thinking about this going, okay, so if I was meant to have this encounter with this individual, was I supposed to learn something from it? I don't feel like our energies were matching, so I didn't attract them. Or was it just a sign from the heavens to just give up on dating right now and just carry on with my bad self?
Well, pretty much. I mean, I think that happened 26 years ago.
No, and carry on with your good bad self. That's what I said. You missed that part.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'd be asking myself, like, am I supposed to learn something from this? Because I really do look at those type of things, right, as we do when we've done this work. And I don't want to make that sound elitist.
No, for sure. And I think that most people who are on a truthful, transparent, authentic spiritual path know that every experience is an opportunity to learn and grow. And I feel like we're the teacher and the student in pretty much every experience that we have, right? And sometimes we're meant to be the observer as well too. We are meant to
So maybe
observe.
you are meant to be something for them to possibly learn from if they made the choice. Because I'm serious, I would be sitting with that afterwards, asking Spirit, okay, Spirit, what am I missing here? What was I supposed to learn from this? And you just so turned that around for me that maybe I wasn't supposed to learn something, but it was an opportunity for the person I interacted with to possibly learn something. I
So
like
Heidi, Contessa, and Case and Lee are all kind of like having this conversation in the chat. I don't want to put it all up, honestly, because I want to make sure that we can get to some other things. But Case and Lee is saying Contessa, he died a broken man, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. If there is that,
Are we talking about Edgar Casey?
We're talking about Aleister Crowley. So
that's what I meant to say. Why did I say Edgar Casey?
Aleister Crowley.
It was Aleister Crowley.
Like doing the type of rituals that he was with the intention that he was doing it, and how he unknowingly brought other in who were victims in the things that he was doing as well too. And he died a broken man. So this is what I'm saying. If I was doing something along those lines, which I don't feel, I don't know. Today I got to taste yummy freaking like brownies and shite from somebody's like loved ones on the other side. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. Melt some peanut butter.
I think we reap what we sow. Bless you. I think we reap what we sow. So I don't know why I said Edgar Casey. Edgar Casey is not even anything near close to what Aleister Crowley was doing. But what we put out, I believe, comes back to us. And I'm sad that it's true that he died a broken man. But again, like attracts like energy. I think it was Mish when earlier, maybe it was even last night, talking about the boomerang effect. Like, I really do believe, and especially with working as a nurse, and not so much sometimes with the terminal and palliative care, but a lot more so when I was in university with elderly people. And you got to see who was around them at the end of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't always this way, but a lot of times. And I remember saying this to much older coworkers that they say, oh, so-and-so is such a sweet soul, like their family's awful. And I would say, yes, it's sad that they're alone, but we don't know what life was like either when their children were younger, and sometimes that does happen to beautiful elderly people. But I really do believe, basically, in a long way of saying this, we reap what we sow. What we put out there eventually comes back, I think.
Oh,
mm-hmm.
Yes, it does. And sometimes maybe I just have this tickle in my throat. Maybe not in this lifetime, like after, like, it eventually comes back. We have to deal with it.
And it's not punishment. It's just what you put out comes back eventually.
Exactly. So our next, we have two more theories to get through. And we're so close. I want to make sure that we get these last two. So spirit dependency, because this is the one. Oh, no, we have three. So unintentional spirit summoning. So haunted ghost walks, haunted storytelling. Can that also, when we're repeatedly telling the story over and over?
Well, this story that we're talking about in the true crime, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe that.
Spirit dependency. So this is the one that I sent to you my thought, and that's why I added it to the list. And
feel free.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spirit dependency. So spirits feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
And I mean, Shanann in particular, she was like trying to do vlogging, and like whether it was her intention to be an influencer or not at that point in time, if that was even a word back then, but she was doing all of that. So was there a dependency, to be seen and heard? Do spirits stick around because they want the interaction, they like the interaction, they enjoy being seen and heard? Is that a possibility as well too? And we're just tossing all of these out to have the discussion. And
one thing I'm going to add, is my thoughts that I shared with you. I felt picking up from this situation in a way what you're saying, and I'll go quick because I know we got one more point, is the fact I almost felt like by her things that came through in the EVPs. No, this is our house. This was the beautiful home I have built for our family. And I'm not leaving. It's mine. It's mine. I'm going to stay regardless of how, and I don't mean from a hateful, angry spot. It was like she was a strong person in life, a strong person in the afterlife, and she was standing her ground. She took being a mother very seriously. I also felt that coupled with the fact that, yes, she loved what she did. It was very apparent so I agree with you with this point as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an interesting one to consider for sure. Okay, so the next one is where it brings in, or could lead into, Elisa Lam and her passing at the Cecil Hotel. So the projection of collective energy. So where a tragic story becomes so widely believed might form a powerful energetic presence, even if the spirit is crossed over. So creating even a digital haunting or a digital presence. So, with all the Elisa Lam is where I went first with that theory. Like, there was so many people watched that video of Elisa Lam in the elevator. And without knowing all the bigger context to everything, right? So immediately, like, that it was creepy and it was haunting, and the Cecil Hotel has its own weirdness attached to it as well too. And really, it was a mental health crisis that she was in. But have people created that haunting in a digital fashion because there's that collective energy being put into the story?
It's food for thought because Connie asked a good question. We also have a listener submission we have to read to you tonight too, guys, so we want to save time. But Connie asked, do you think spirits come back to haunt people who have hurt them?
No, I do not.
Not unless I have heard of stories, though very rarely, that an earthbound spirit maybe wasn't such a nice person in life or was so angry with what had happened that chose to stay earthbound seeking revenge. But it's so rare because we're having the human life here with the human eyes. If we put the spirit eyes on, as I say, and when we go back home, right, we kind of leave behind
unconditional love. There's no ego. There's no ego, no anger, no hurt. It's unconditional love, and seeing the bigger picture as to the why it happened and wanting to help heal people here. So I've not
run into it.
I'm sure that maybe it's possible, but I've never experienced that.
And basically, the way Spirit shown me, it's like we tried on a new suit, if you will, for this lifetime. And now that we've gone back home, we've left that suit there, but we've taken what we've from the suit. Like, it's like playing an acting role, if you will, right? And I always try and explain I love what you just said. It's unconditional love. There is no ego, and you get to see the big picture. I think that's
and you don't see people as enemy. You don't see people. You see people for who they are, as somebody who is of spirit, of light, of love, the same as you. You really do not see them through the Chihuahua
human eyes.
You do not.
Yeah. So we've got so many good questions, you guys. You know what? And if we can't answer them all, we can do another show. We are planning another true crime paranormal show. So
yeah, and we can. I mean, we're just like 5 minutes out, so we could always read the listener submission next week as well.
We could, if you're good with that. I'm good with that too. So.
Yeah. Jody McGrath is asking, do you think the violent way they died keeps them stuck in locations? So for sure that can, but it's is it an imprint? Is it residual? Is it intelligent? Do they know they're dead? There's all these different things to look at, right? Yeah. And each case is going to be so individual.
Like the Highway of Tears, I've heard that there are some spirits there of girls who haven't realized they passed, and it was very tragic and very quick. And again, not so much revenge, just they've lost their way. Like they just don't know that they passed. So there's a variety of reasons. And I love the ideas. And you had so many deep thoughts about this that I hadn't even considered. And we could have done like a month of shows on this topic because they're all worth looking at very deeply and talking about.
And I like having, I mean, I know that this is not necessarily, it's paranormal, but it's looking at it and understanding that we need to understand more. We need to have deeper conversations about why these things are potentially happening, because our thoughts, words, and actions matter. So if collectively we are contributing to that, how can we do better? Or do we have the skills or the knowledge to help if those spirits are needing help in crossing over, or knowing the people to contact to help through that?
I agree. Do you want me to read a story? Is there any more questions that we might have missed? Or if anybody has one, even you want to post it again quickly. I think everybody's just chit-chatting and being fun with one another and sharing your thoughts, and I love it.
Yeah, I think we have time to read it quick, right?
All right. Want me to read it? Put my granny lady glasses on.
I think they're super cool.
I put the little
I like the shape.
I put the skulls on. So
that
have little bling.
That's funny.
Okay, this is an anonymous listener submission. I have been filled with so many experiences of spirit signs in this last 2 weeks in the event of my brother passing so suddenly. And I apologize, or not apologize. I feel very, send my deepest empathy for the passing of your brother. And thank you for sharing your story. 2 days after his passing, I was walking the dog and coming back home, crossing the street, and a man on the bike was smiling and slowing down. And as I got closer, I smiled back and looked up at him, and for a moment it seemed like time froze, and it was incredibly my brother's face and smile. At the funeral, I had a silver heart he gave me years ago, and I was speaking about it at his funeral while during the eulogy, says Tom was speaking to my nieces. The heart fell somehow right between them on the floor. Did I mess that up? Did they give us a name? Because that's what it says is Tom was speaking. So I'll just read it as it was sent. So, and it says Tom. At the cemetery, when my granddaughter was putting her flower in her great uncle's vault, it popped back out as she was running away, so she went to put it back in again. Something he would have done to tease and play with the little ones. In life, I'm guessing, and now we're experiencing it, this family, it sounds like, as he's passed. I had a client of his saying a sticky note with a phone number he gave them 2 years ago and kept telling him to call. It just fell out on his floor from a box the day after my brother's passing. I said to him, you better call because he's telling you again, even from the other side. Even having a funny thought about him and how loud he would blow his nose. I was sitting outside and ironically a flock of geese flew by, honking like crazy, I guess, while they were thinking about how he blew his nose. I feel like he's right beside us all with his great big hugs and smiles, cheering us all on, which feels off balance and fuzzy, like we are a foot in our world and a foot in his. These signs give us comfort when not being able to hold the physical form. And I love that. That was
I love that too.
Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful. Very beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a story that gives you chills, a strange encounter you can't explain, we want to hear it. Send us your true tales of the weird, the haunted, and the unexplainable, and your story could be the next one that we share. Please send it to Kerrilynn's Porch, KERRILYNNS, Porch, Kerrilynn's Porch at gmail.com.
And it's scrolling across the bottom. And just in case we forgot to tell you guys, stay tuned because the second night of the Outer Realm with our amazing Michelle DeRoche, who is also our station manager. She has Beyond the Outer Realm on Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays and Thursdays are the Outer Realm, and she's coming up next.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here and being part of the show. You guys help make the show what it is. Thank you to Joe Montaldo and Michelle DeRoche for all of the space that you hold for us as hosts. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Next week, we're talking haunted amusement parks.
Oh. Just wait, you guys won't. You're never going to know it. Yeah, so go ahead. Go ahead.
Killer clowns. Let's dress as killer clowns.
Killer clowns, maybe. We'll be back to our spooky, dark, by the fire, campfire light for you guys. But we just wanted to be respectful tonight. So you got good old us. So who you got coming on tomorrow night or tomorrow night again on Spirit Switchboard, Kerrilynn?
Mike Rick Secker. We're going to have a fun conversation. It's going to be a little bit of everything because I've never met him before. We are both speaking at the Paracon in Thunder Bay in October, and I'm going to do a lightning round of, I think I have like 10 or so questions that I'm hoping will be fun for the listeners as well too.
I love it. And I'm going to give the Angel Rock a quick plug this Monday, June the 2nd, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Two of my other closest friends, Leanne Clark and Debbie A. Anderson, both psychics and mediums. Leanne's a channeler, crystal architect. You hear me talking about her lots. They're coming back on, and you guys love them when they come on. They've been on a couple times, and then every time they're on, you go, when are they coming back? So they will be back. And
that's fun.
I loved it tonight. Thank you. Oh, I love doing this show with you and everybody here. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Night. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned for Michelle. And I heard Anne Wayne too. So thank you for that, Heidi.
Oh, and Wayne too. So fun.
We'll see you. I'll see you tomorrow night and then on the chat too. We'll see you.